Hello and welcome back once again to Epic Land 40 here in Kettering Convention Centre, brought to you of course by Intel. I'm joined once again by Promoria. Hello.
Hello again, thank you very much.
Because we're back with another ZVP.
We certainly are, and this time two teammates from the Goldmasters team.
Yeah.
We have Molten coming up against Blackwidow, who's come all the way from the Netherlands.
Yeah, amazing. It's the Gold M team kill, and hopefully should be pretty close. Let's just check that players are ready.
Yeah, Blackwidow's about 5.2k, Molten fluctuates, usually about 5k, but I know a bit of insider information. Molten usually does quite well against Blackwidow.
Yeah, Blackwidow did not sound confident when we were chatting to him just now.
Definitely not, so definitely going to be close. Definitely can go either way. We'll just see who can perform under the pressure.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, we're going to hop into game. We're loading into Alkione.
We certainly are.
Yep.
Blackwidow, not a massive fan of a ZVP matchup.
Okay.
Historically, never been particularly good about it. I know last season he had about a 20% win rate in it.
Okay.
And he's not played much this season. So
okay. So it hasn't improved on that win rate much. So sounds like we're in for a bit of a sticky one.
Yeah, definitely.
Glad we've chosen this one to cast now.
Yeah, certainly should be more interesting than the last one we casted together.
Let's hope for longer than 8 minutes in this one. That's for sure. Spawning in the bottom left of Alkione Ladder Edition. Playing in the orange, I guess, for Goldmasters is Blackwidow.
And spawning in the top right position, playing as the purple Protoss for Goldmasters as well, Molten.
Okay, so given what you've just said,
yep,
is there any chance that Blackwidow cheeses?
Nope.
None. He never cheeses.
Nope.
Never.
He is the most straightforward, macro-orientated player that you will ever come across.
Okay.
Molten knows this, and Molten knows that he's not going to put down a forge after his gateway this game, and Molten will be prepared to go for that 20-30 minute long PvZ, fleet beacon, carrier style, and he's not going to be afraid to take it to the long game.
Which is the one thing that Blackwidow said he didn't want to play against, was the carriers.
Exactly.
So let's see if he has something in mind to kind of get around that. I don't know, maybe like a timing attack, something cool like like a Hydra push or something.
I'd be surprised to see Hydras. I think he favours Roach Ravager more than Hydra.
Cool.
So I'd expect to see that, and I'd expect to see Molten just playing that, standard Stargate into Robo kind of style that he likes.
Well, you say that, but I have seen Molten play a lot of DTs.
Yeah, but not particularly.
Not
really, no.
Okay.
Later in the game, sure. Like when he's 3-4 base established, it goes into that. But I'd be very surprised to see it early game. I mean, depending on the map, of course not this one. He can rush against Zerg. But in terms of the DTs, he's not really someone that does it against Zerg.
Cool. So with the Cyber Core, I guess it's only halfway done. We'll see what kind of tech he opts for. I'm sure, like you say, it's going to be that more kind of standard Stargate opener.
Yeah.
Seems to be the way he likes to take things.
Definitely.
Standard, so very standard so far from Blackwidow.
Yeah, I expect to see the third coming out with these Zerglings popping just to protect it. As we do see the drone now leaving. Molten going to scout this. Probably going to get there to block it, but with the Zerglings out.
Yeah, that's not going to take too long. And it is the Stargate behind. So that's an interesting kind of tech choice from Molten. Kind of, predicts the next few minutes of the game at least, right? It's going to be oracles with a little bit of harass. And it's not really going to be so much that heavy adept pressure or a charge all in, at least not just yet.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty much exactly how we'd expect, I think. We'll just have to see how Blackwidow handles the pressure of the oracles.
Yeah, for sure. And this first adept coming across, I'm sure he's ready for this. Yeah, Queen already in position.
Yeah, nice position in there on the Queen. Might get a Zergling for his trouble, but
yeah, not
I don't think he'll let this finish.
Yeah.
Nice play there. Just scouting out, making sure that third did go up. And it's actually Phoenix rather than Oracle.
Yeah, actually, weirdly, I have seen him do this on the stream a few times.
Yeah.
He'll play the Phoenix first and then the Oracle follow up. I don't know that I love it,
No, neither do I. I mean, Widow's going to see that it's Oracle straight away after this, if he's not going to get his Overlord away. He probably saw that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's nice to deny the Overlord, but he's already got the information. He already knows what he's going up against, and the response is going to be the same, regardless of, you know, if it was going to be more Phoenix or not.
Yeah, I just find it weird in that, like, when you get a Void Ray, which is good for killing the Overlords, it can also shoot the ground.
Exactly.
So then you can still use it for, like, holding roaches or, you know, defending the third. Whereas when you go Phoenix, one Phoenix can only pick stuff up and then put it back down again. It doesn't do anything. Like, it's going to hunt Overlords, but, you know, everyone plays Void Ray, so all of the Overlords haven't been sent out. So
no, I completely agree. I think if he's going to build something to kill the Overlord, it should be the Void Ray rather than the Phoenix. But
does it give him anything faster or anything? Because
I mean,
the Phoenix build time is less. And
and it's cheaper than the Oracle. But I mean, why not just go into the Oracle in the first place? Really?
Yeah, just
build a Stalker to kill the Overlord.
Yeah, if you were going for something cheap. Yeah, that's fair, I think. So we do see the first Oracles heading on the map. This Phoenix is just doing laps back and forth. It's not going to find anything. Cause
I mean, it is useful to scout, but I mean, what are you really scouting at this stage of the game? You know, you've got your Oracles for scouting.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, they can get deeper kind of like with the Revelate. Yeah. And at some point you're going to dive them anyway. I think that's going to come pretty soon as he does join these two Oracles up on the bottom of the map.
And we're about to see really the first stages of the game, whether or not Molten can get any damage done with these.
Yeah, this is going to be the first time kind of we see any units really losing. Okay.
Yeah, he's got some Adepts in the third base as well, which is nice.
Yeah, Oracles. If he could sync up the Oracles, that'd be good. He hasn't actually moved the Oracles yet. No. So far from Blackwidow, it's just Lings and then +1 range. So it's looking to me like a kind of roach timing attack, I would guess.
I mean, with the lair coming down as well, I mean... Adept Judge there.
Ooh,
lovely surround there by Widow. Two of them do survive, and the Oracles are just sat there. I'd have loved them to be in the main base harassing while all that was going on, and now it's like, you know, sending them in, but there's going to be a Spore there, there's going to be a Queen there. Yeah,
this to me is the difference between like a good player and like a really great player. Like a good player can hit the timings and, you know, have the Oracles out, have the Adepts out, and hit with them, use them. But using it at the same time is obviously quite a lot more difficult.
It'd be nice if he kills the... he's just missed it, that's a shame.
Yeah, I mean, he's looking over here at these Lings into his third base. Does get the kind of Shield Battery Overcharge baited out by Blackwidow.
I think Widow's probably pretty comfortable with where he is now. He defended the Adept Aggression, he defended the Oracles with only losing 3 drones, which I think 2 Oracles and 3 drones, as we actually do see the Stargate going down now.
Yeah, the Spire. It's really weird. I was literally about to say, he's banking so much gas, and then I just saw he took these other 2 gases on his third base.
But he's getting Roach Speed and +2 range as well.
Yeah,
which
I don't hate this. To me, this feels like he's metagaming and trying to go really fast into Corruptors.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's actually not really anything more out of the Stargate, as Multi's instead going into Charge, now into Templar Archives, and then just using the Robo for Immortals.
I mean, historically, Molten has really struggled against Mutalisk. It's one of the things that, you know, he does hate in this matchup. So I wouldn't actually mind seeing 10, 11 Mutalisks coming out here just for that. I mean... Not sure if we're going to see it, but he's banking that gas, he's banking the minerals for it, so we could very easily see 12
I'm sure this is Muta. But I'm not the biggest fan of going Mutas into someone kind of this late. It feels late to me, in that Molten can quite quickly have quite a lot of Stalkers, and he can now have Archons. And he already has a Stargate. So it feels like he could just pump the Phoenix and then be quite safe against the Mutas.
Right, but it's all going to depend on whether or not Molten scouts for Spire on the Mutalisks or not.
Yeah, to some extent, but I would be so suspicious of Muta just because I haven't seen any units. Like, we've only seen Lings. It's like, is he really playing Ling Bane at 8 minutes into the game?
But he's still building Immortals, he's still going Charge. I mean, if Widow jumped into the main base, depowered the Stargate, he would do a lot of damage here. There's no Blink.
Yep.
You know, he is going Storm, which is nice, but Mutalisks can easily outposition, you know, Templar.
Yeah, even with the buff, to the Archons now can fit through a smaller wall. Yeah, it's definitely still it's still kind of hard to control those Archons. And at the moment, obviously, Molten doesn't want to morph them together. He wants High Templar so that he can use the Storm. If you force the morph, you're actually getting rid of the Storm at the same time.
Exactly.
So it's going to be the first 16 Mutas. I'm sure Blackwidow is going to grab these together on the bottom of the map.
But it's going to be scouted here, actually, by the... that was unlucky, I think. Do we have any cannons or batteries in the main base? He is building a cannon, but that's not going to be enough.
No, yeah, it's just the one cannon as well.
Yeah, is there? Yeah, he doesn't know.
I think Molten's kind of metagamed. I think Molten was really sure that a big Roach flood was coming, and Blackwidow just isn't doing it. No. So now he can get in, goes straight for the cannon, and we'll get some probes in the process. I think, like we said, he needs to depower that Stargate. Yeah, honestly, now I would just go for tech. So I would try and kill the Fleet Beacon, try and kill the Templar Archives. I just really put the Protoss tech behind.
And I think Molten's just probably going to have to go for it here. I don't think, you know, this is a tough position now. The Templar Archives are going down, and as we said, without Phoenix, Mutalisk, you can, you know, really outposition the Protoss player. And he doesn't have that static defense because it wants scouted.
Templar Council just got depowered, so there's no blink coming. So yeah, like you're saying, he's kind of going to have to chase the Mutas around with slow stalkers and with Archons. Do you see
I mean, that's a really big storm there. Wow.
That is a rough storm. But kind of slow reaction speed out of Blackwidow.
It was. He's going to just fly these away. They're going to regen. +1 flyers on its way.
I mean, finishing now that we're not actually attacking with the Mutas anymore. That said, big Roach Flood coming in now. So now Blackwidow is forcing Molten to choose. He's either going to have to defend the front or he's going to get to defend the main. He can't actually do both with the army that Molten's on right now.
Exactly. Molten's army is so small that, you know, he's just going to have to give up this main base.
Yeah, I mean, giving up the Nexus, you know, the minerals are kind of mined out. I would go for the tech, which he is starting to do now. Meanwhile, it does look like Blackwidow is going to kind of micro the front force a little bit more.
Yeah. And there's 3 Stargates on the way, which I don't dislike. I think, you know, 6 Phoenix to take care of the... actually, this is quite nice damage on the Mutalisk here on these cannons.
Yeah, it kind of rough, and I'm not sure really if that was the fight to take out of for Blackwidow. This one is definitely not the fight to take. So he just needs to be careful not to lose these, because they're still quite expensive. Yeah, he's down now to 10, so he's already lost 6. That's 600, 600. Yeah. Kind of to throw away is not really worth it. I honestly think he needs to be teching at least a little bit. Kind of getting towards the hive techs and get Adrenal, you get Broods. This is going to be a big stasis. Never mind. Okay, I was wrong.
Nice play there by Widow. Got the Overseer there so we could see the stasis. Yeah. As we do see that transition into carriers happening.
Yeah.
Which, I mean...
We've be careful of these storms. These are really big. And these Ravs just take so much damage from the storms. So Bradwell's going to continue to die. If so many of the Stalkers are caught in the main behind the Adept wall, I think this fight could have gone much differently with those in there. But honestly, it just feels like there's too much here for Blackwidow.
Yeah, it does. The Mutalisk can also come in and reinforce here if he wants. But actually, he's going to clean up this road supply. He's going to scout the carriers, which is nice. And I mean, with +2 flyer and the Spire already done, there's 13 Corruptors instantly made there.
Yeah, I think weirdly Blackwidow had quite a lot of Lings made and just didn't... He could have just done Roach, Rav, Bane, and just, like, with the Banes in that fight, I think Molten is dead. As it is, I'm not convinced Molten isn't dead. His probe count's actually pretty healthy. Yeah,
there's just no real army there of substance. I mean, he's getting these carriers, but I mean, there's no storms. There's 1 Archon at the moment. The Corruptors could literally just go fly across the other side of the map and one-shot these carriers.
Yeah, and I think that is going to be Blackwidow's plan, looking like he's going to push also with a lot of Banelings. I would like to see him kind of bring that Roach Rav count back up a little bit. Yeah, they kind of had quite a lot of sustained damage, and the Lings are still quite they're a bit too squishy against the storms. I think Blackwidow just burst a load of Banelings on the rocks. Blackwidow's going to go and sack these Mutas. He's kind of done controlling them. Honestly, like, you want to get as much value out of them as you can, but at some point in the game they're dead supply, and you actually can't use like 4 control groups. So I agree. I don't hate the sack.
He's making Void Rays now, which I like, especially against the Corrupted. He knows that's got to be response. So I think Molten's battled his way back into a decent playable position here, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, if Blackwidow lets him max out, it's going to be very rough. Yeah. And actually, I think... Yeah, Multi's not doing too hot on the upgrades, actually. He could be doing a lot better.
Nexus goes down here. If he gets out here, free.
I think he can turn and fight that. This is so many Corruptors. That beats that, surely. And especially because the Archons can't really get into this position. You see one carrier going down. Overcharge, keeping that Void Ray alive. But, you know, we've used Prismatic Alignment, and we've baited out the Overcharge, so now we just need to kind of group up again.
He needs to watch what he's doing with his army, regroup, and just go again, I'd say.
Yeah, this is a lot of Lings now. I mean, only 62, but it's also 27 Banes, so that's quite a lot of units.
+1 finished here, almost for Molten on the air. He needs to be careful with these Corruptors.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, you're kind of now trading Corruptors for Interceptors, which is never really worth it. He does manage to get a good angle on the carriers, and now the High Templar, you know, out of position, not getting the storms down. Does need to be careful of these Lings through the storms, as he crashes a million Banelings straight into the mineral line of the 3rd. Or I guess 4th, sorry.
Carrier there getting picked off.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the kind of Sky play is kind of dead for Molten.
Yeah, but I mean, all things considered, the supplies are a lot even now than they were. I mean, Blackwidow does have a nice bank, and this Ras is nice.
Yeah, more banelings now into the... What's this, 5th? Unsure how we're labelling these bases.
4th. Well, 3rd, technically, I think.
This is a good run by with these Zealots. He needs to get over here. Where is his units? Okay, well, there's some value Zealots, I guess. Just trading... Not even trading the Zealots and getting the base down.
I really like the decision here for the Vipers and the Infestors. I think Pathogen Glands have gone now, is that correct?
Yeah,
so do they start with that energy? Do they start with more energy? Or?
Yeah, because there was no... So basically, fungal... when an Infestor hatched before, you couldn't use a spell straight away. So now, with the fungal... No, with Pathogen Glands gone, you can fungal as soon as they spawn.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So...
The really one thing I would say is that we now have 26 supply of Corruptors, and Molten's gone completely out of carriers. He's going all in on the Void Rays.
Yeah,
and I guess this is why Blackwidow is starting to switch now into the Spellcasters, because they do way better against the Void Rays, like pure Corruptor.
The Parasitic Bomb for the Void Rays with the Fungal attached to it as well. I mean, if you can line them up, you know, it's going to be quite deadly for the Void Rays, I imagine. Yeah,
definitely. Void Rays, for their cost, are actually kind of squishy. 100, 250. So a couple Parabombs on a big clump of fungal voids is very nice.
I'm not sure I'd be pushing out on creep here with this army that Molten has. I mean, that's a really nice storm there on them Bailings.
Yeah,
quite a few are going to make it through, but they don't obviously one-shot now with +2.
They don't.
But when you've got 10 Bailings...
Yeah, you just make more Banelings and it's fine. Yeah, I think mostly there we saw the change to the Carapace upgrade, the Baneling Road upgrade, which used to give +5 HP and now no longer does. So, yeah, it's these kind of situations where they're rolling through Storm that you actually see those sorts of changes actually come into effect. But you do have this ball of Viper and Corruptors kind of milling around. Okay, he's just going to drop the Parabomb.
Yeah, nice split out of Molten. I mean, except he's coming back and bringing them back in.
Yeah, that was the whole position splits, I think, right? But okay, obviously now they're just a little bit bruised, but honestly, we're just trading energy on the Vipers for that. So we just go home, refill the Vipers, and come back and do it again. I think Multi's in a lot of trouble here. He has been for some time.
He's not continuing with his air upgrades either. So +1 is okay, but +2 is really that power spike that you're looking for, especially with the carriers. And the fact that he hasn't been able to afford it and research that, he's going to really struggle taking this game much further.
But on the other hand, Blackwidow has just gone 2 Spires and has gone really hard into the upgrades. I think he's actually only using one of the Spires right now. I think the other one wanted to be a Greater Spire. I'm not sure he actually
he's just made it now.
Yeah, there we go. Awesome. Did remember. So he will be getting to those Broodlords, which I think is going to start to spell the end of this game. We see this big fight in the middle, big storms and fungals feedbacks on everything. Too many F spells, man. But now these Lings coming in and catching the High Templar, forcing out all of the storms.
That's really nice play there by Widow. Using these Lings to take rid of the High Templar.
I think that was all of them, right? Okay, some more. Yeah, there are some here, but I think these just got morphed in. Whooped in, sorry. Unfortunately, a lot of the Banes went onto the Archons.
Yeah, but they just seem to not quite align that attack. He kind of sent the air spellcasters first and then, you know...
Yeah, so that all got stormed and then feedbacked. Yeah. And then he went with the Lings and they got the High Templar. And then the Binglings came and they just crashed into the Archons. Exactly. It wasn't the best. Keeping this hatch alive is very nice for Blackwidow.
Down to 72 health.
Still alive though. Burning, weirdly, even though it's a Zerg unit, obviously.
Well, you know.
High tech.
Yeah.
So these Corruptors are going to keep kind of lurking around. I think he didn't build too many more.
No, up to 14, which I think is a nice amount.
Obviously, Multi is actually going back into the carriers. He just needs to be careful with them. They're expensive units. You don't really want to lose them for free. This is a nice. If it's a bait, it's a nice bait.
Storms are massive here.
Yeah, that
just completely obliterates the ground damage there with Blackwidow.
Yeah, I think it was kind of a nice idea for the move, but then just storms on everything, and the Banes didn't connect.
I get trying to trade. He's up 88 workers, he's got a decent bank, but you actually do have to trade some units rather than giving them away for free.
Yeah, absolutely. At the moment he was trading, units for energy, which is just never really worth it. Yeah, that's for sure. These voids are starting to get very low from those repeated power bombs.
Yeah.
So you see the first brood
plus
lords.
3. Yeah. I don't know what to think about with brood lords, to be honest. I mean,
I'll tell you what I think about the brood lords. I think there's no way to siege down a Protoss base without broods.
As we do see here, the ground army of Blackwidow coming in, trying to get on top of this.
Yeah, we're out of Storm this time, so Multi's going to morph all of those Archons. The Archons here on the ground are standing very strong, and this is exactly why you need the broods, is to deal with those Archons.
There's just nothing on the ground here for the ground army.
Yeah, he's got 38 lava, he does need to spend that. Good power bombs once again.
But I mean, if Molten just pushes now...
Maybe not now, not now that the Void Rays have gone boom. Yeah, the Archons are so scary here. Blackwidow needs to pull these Corruptors back and morph broods, because that's the only way you're getting through these Archons. He's morphing now a load of Lings to fight Archons is just not really it.
Do you think... he's losing his Infestors there. I was going to say, do you think Neural on the Archons would have been a good play?
Yeah, it can work, absolutely, but
I mean, trading Lings here into this Archon in this sort of position just is never going to go favourably for the Zerg player.
And now he's making Roaches? Yeah, I think he really needs, a few more Corruptors just so the Corrupt count stay high, and then just broods and just.
I think we're really seeing here up until the end point. Blackwidow played a really nice, solid game, with the Mutualist. But now that it's this sort of stage, it feels like he just isn't quite sure what he needs to be doing.
Yeah, and there's a few things, right? It's not just like, here's the one answer. You know, he could be playing like a Lurker switch with the Corruptors to deal with the Voids. He could be playing Ultras to deal with the deal with the Archons, but so far he's kind of doing a lot of nothing. I'm not a big fan.
Yeah. As you see here, Molten pushing out into the middle of a map onto creep.
Yeah, and there's going to be a backstab, forcing out the recall. Actually, very nice. These are Roaches that they're not hugely expensive, and at the moment they're raced in supply. Would be nice to trade them for an Archon or two. There we go. Yeah, getting a couple of Archons with that is very nice.
And one thing that I do like about Widow's play so far is aggressive expansions. So he is taking them expansions at 12, 11 o'clock position and at the bottom right, as well as creep spread as well, connecting quite a lot of them bases up as well. Yeah,
the creep has been really nice this game. So now this is a nice comp, and I like it a lot. It's the spellcasters, it's broods, and now he's adding the corruptors just to keep his anti-air strong. I think this puts him in a pretty good spot, honestly.
I'd agree. I'd like it a bit more if his bank was a little bit higher, especially with building 20 roaches just randomly and losing, so many units for free. I think if we had a look at the units lost, as we actually do see an engagement here.
Yeah, he yoinked a carrier, but doesn't have the corruptor count to actually kill it. Multi getting some good feedbacks, but now he's going to start losing the High Templar to the broods. And a bit of a bait on that storm as now the broods get on top of the High Templar once again. Big storms on everything, and now Blackwidow needs to disengage 100%. Good kiting with these Ferrari broodlords now that the patch.
But look how low all the corruptors are. He really needs to avoid them Archons.
Yeah, the splash from the Archons is going to be huge, but now this is the fight that he actually wanted, and this I think is going to be it for Multi. Yeah. Now is when you can max out on the Lings and just flood Lings into every base of your opponent, and even Banes, anything. That's going to be it.
Yeah, really nice engagement there by Blackwidow in the end, and I think it comes down to he made them broodlords, as you called out, just to be able to get rid of the Archons and to buffer between the Archons and the Corruptors to allow the Corruptors the space that they needed without being blown up.
Yeah, those Archons are so scary. Like they do splash, so against your air units that kind of clump, they just they demolish those Corruptors. Yep. So really, you're kind of playing this weird game of cat and mouse where you need to play keep away and get your Corruptors away from the Archons, and you're trying to get your then your broods onto the Archons and onto the High Templar, and then your Corruptors can then come back around and re-engage the armor. Yeah. But honestly, I think Blackwidow did a really good job of staying quite in control of that whole game. Yeah. Like you said, expanding well, good creep spread, really aggressive maneuvers, kind of trading quite nicely.
Yeah, I think he does need to tighten up where he's trading and be careful not to throw away too many units, because I think that there was points in that time where it just trades 70 Lings into 8 Archons, and it's you're never going to trade at all in that sort of situation.
Yeah, that is just a straight waste of minerals at that point. Yeah, and lava. Honestly, at that stage in the game, it's hard to keep up with your injects, and getting on top of the lava control is tough.
Yeah, and spawning in the top left position, playing for Gold Masters, it is Molten.
And winning the previous map, playing in the orange once again, also for the Gold Masters, a team kill here today at Epic LAN. Hailing from the Netherlands is Blackwidow.
Very interested to see what each player does in Game 2. I'm not sure that Blackwidow can go Spire again. I think Molten's going to be a bit more active with his oracles and his scouting. I mean, he made that Phoenix first, which, you know, if you're going to do that, then I think it's a criminal offence not to scout for Spire. You know, he's got 2 oracles, he's got a Phoenix. You know, you've got to be scouting it, but you know, Blackwidow did it. You know, he got a lot of damage done with a 16 Mutalisks.
I really think he got away with a lot there, banking so many minerals and gas for so long, and Molten just kind of sitting back. To me, instant red flags. You're like, where are your units? What are you actually doing? Like, what's the plan here? Yeah. And in this case, you know, if it's banking like that, you're kind of thinking like, why? Why are you banking? What are you banking for? And that, to me, I think is what you need to be looking out for and thinking. I think this is a thing that you get from playing a lot of ZVZ, honestly. Because in that case, you're like, right, I'm making roaches. You need to have as many roaches as I have, or you're up to something.
Yep.
And that's how you kind of get this 6th sense for muters. Multi, I think, needs to be a bit more active on the map. You know, like you said, with that Phoenix, and just keep on top of everything. And then should get away with it. Yeah,
there was just one point in the game where he came into the main with his 2 oracles, and I think that's the only time that he ever went into the main base. And I think, you know, the power of the Oracle is not just based on getting drone kills. It's, you know, having that flexibility to scout, to revelate, to really, you know, keep on top of what the Zerg player is doing. And if you're not doing that, then, you know, why are you opening Oracle in the first place, really?
Yeah, you're missing a lot of the power of the Oracle. Like you said, those revelates are huge when you can kind of keep on top of, like, the droning. You can see when there's lots of lings coming and what they might be coming for, and, you know, what timing they're trying to hit. And then, you know, like you said, you can kind of dive with the oracles and see and be like, that's a Spire. That's an interesting timing on the old Spire. Yeah, it's not much to talk about in this game because it's the same as the previous one.
Exactly the same. We see the Stargate coming down for Molten, and we see Link Speed and the 3rd base for Blackwidow.
Yep, first Adept moving across, and in the previous game this got like 1 Ling. I would be really surprised if this got any more than that this game.
Yeah, I'd be surprised. I think, you know, Blackwidow's seen this, he saw it move out, he's going to see it again now. We're going to keep on top of a shade. The Queen's coming out to meet it, perfect positioning. And yeah, as you said, I don't expect him to finish this shade.
I think it only got a Ling in the previous game because the Lings were kind of coming from the 3rd base and a bit out of position. In this game, he does bring them back quite early, so it doesn't catch any of those Lings this game.
And we see the Phoenix again coming out from Molten.
It's the Phoenix that we don't like, Primaria. What is it?
So, see, I wouldn't hate it if he builds another Phoenix. If he went 2 Stargate Phoenix.
If you went into the Phoenix and just played Phoenix, especially if you're going to do it every game.
Yes.
Because the one thing that you do every game is the thing that catches people out when you don't do it, that one game that you don't do it in. You know, so like, I don't know, if you play 2 Racks Reaper every game, for example, and then the one game that it's 3 Racks Reaper, that's the game that you get a free win with the 3 Racks Reaper, and suddenly become really dangerous, right? Because it's no longer like, oh, he's the guy that plays the Phoenix Oracle. He's now the guy that could be doing anything.
Yeah, Phoenix.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like this build from Molten. I don't really, you know, see it. I don't understand the purpose of it, and I think it's just wasted time and money. That could have been a 3rd Oracle.
Yeah, a 3rd Oracle, or you can just, you know, save even more money, make a Stalker to kill the Overlord, and then go into...
He's going to actually lose the first...
1 HP. Are you kidding?
Wow.
Yes, true.
Yeah, Blackwidow not particularly happy there with the...
Yeah, with the 3 kills, getting out on 1 HP. I mean, honestly, it's so bruised. 3 kills, I think, for 3 kills to lose an Oracle, I think that's an okay trade for both players, probably. That's probably 50-50, right? But now, to have 1 really weak one, I think, honestly, isn't that bad. I think if he just right-clicks it with a Spore, it's going to die, if he tries to dive with both Oracles anyway.
I think the trade is okay for Blackwidow. I think because Molten only goes for 2 Oracles rather than 3, it's going to be very, very difficult for him to dive on top of a mineral line in the future. because of this.
Yeah.
He's probably still going to try. But
well, he didn't do it in the previous game very much, so I think he should try.
As we do actually see +1 melee and +1 range starting for Widow.
Yeah, now this to me seems like a timing attack. He only obviously did that +1 ranged in the previous game.
Yeah, as we actually see the Hydra then coming in here. And again, you know, Molten's not going to scout this. The lair isn't in... Where is the lair?
Lair's in the main.
Was it in the main?
These adepts got pretty deep into creep before any link.
And he's actually going to see the Hydra then. This is really nice.
Hydra den building now is scouted out. I'm assuming the Shade will finish.
Yeah, going to go into the main base, see the lair, pick off some drones. 3 drones, I'd say 5. Yeah,
5 is drones. Pretty good for 3 adepts. Obviously, could have done a lot more. Kind of like we said, combining the oracles in. Honestly, he might just be a bit worried because this one is so squishy.
Yeah,
and if he just kind of absent-mindedly flies it over a spore, and then you know, there's a chance it just dies.
And I mean, Molten struggles above 120 APM, so you know that's that sort of multitasking side of him.
Yeah, it's like your first car when you take it on the motorway and you're trying to get it above 60 miles an hour, and it's just not doing it. Too many revs.
Exactly. It's a nice idea, and like the thought behind it's there, but the actual execution, not so much.
So we do see these lings made kind of defensively now coming across the map. This is not a good gateway wall, I will say. The Oracle's here, so this shouldn't really get anything done. Honestly, with that battery sitting right there, there's no way we can get this pylon, right?
No.
Okay, good save.
Molten was just crawling with us.
Keeping it alive. Is he trying to keep everything alive on 1 HP this game?
Seems that way, doesn't it?
This is where keeping one really low HP Oracle alive really helps.
Yep.
Because now... defensively, the Zerg has no real kind of aggressive anti-air options, so cleaning up lings like that, it's absolutely worth its weight in gold, even on 1 HP and shields.
As we do see the +2 melee and +2 range now starting, and Hydralisk beginning to be built.
Yeah, so I kind of thought it would be like a 1-1 timing attack, where you're like, you know, you go as soon as the 1-1 are done, you push with Lingbane Hydra. It doesn't look like that is actually going to be the case.
But I mean, building Hydralisks against Charge Lot Storm, I mean... I think if I was in Molten's position, I'd be probably pretty happy where I was right now.
I think he was probably worried about like the timing hitting and like, oh, I need to be ready for that. Now, you know, he's taking the 4th behind it. I think he thinks he's pretty safe, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
Actually, there's an observer right here, so he kind of knows that there's actually not that many units out for Blackwidow.
And even on a worker supply, Blackwidow going up to that 5th base, which I like. Molten going up to his 4th base. I mean, I'd like Molten. Actually, Molten's making that transition straight away into 2 more Stargates and
straight into the carriers. I mean, Skytoss abuser much, but honestly, fair enough.
Yeah, and I don't blame him, to be honest. I think, you know, he sees what's going on. He sees, you know, the army of Widow, and I think he's looking at that and thinking, well, with 2 or 3 storms and some Charge Lot Immortal behind it, it's not really a threat.
Yeah, let's have a look. There's quite a lot of Storm here, quite a lot of Immortals. This first Archon starting to morph in. Is there really a good position? He finally fixes this gateway wall.
Yeah.
So I guess this is the best area for Blackwidow to attack into. Now, if Molten comes across the map, then he's misjudged this game.
Some big storms here. Let's have a look. Catches the tail end of Blackwidow's army, but I don't think that's going to be enough. I think...
See, those were zoning storms. Yeah. Those are because he moved out on the map and he should never have.
Definitely.
So then he needed to kind of use the storms and scare the Hydras away. And honestly, it works because the Hydras can't actually attack through.
I don't think Molten here ever wants to push out. I think there's absolutely no need to. He's going up to 3 Stargates, getting that carrier count up. I think he just needs to defend this push.
The Survivor Oracle clinging on. The other one got taken out now by the Hydras as they came across, but...
I mean, this is a really big committed attack here by Blackwidow, and I don't know, pushing into a choke like this. Molten's army isn't particularly big, but them storms are really scary.
Against an army that's as fragile as
but I don't think he wants to be coming out here. I think he needs to back off, just stay in his cannons, batteries.
Yeah, I agree completely. It does look like Blackwidow's starting to set up kind of a 2-prong. Maybe if he can come from the top as well, it may be even a 3. Molten's, I think, scared now. The way he's moving his army kind of says like, okay, where are you coming from?
I'd like to see him use the oracles as Revelate just to keep a bit more of a track on this army. Yeah,
absolutely. Big storms going wide at the moment. I'm not sure how many quite has left. Maybe 5, 6. Blackwidow playing very carefully around those stasis traps. Okay, that's the first 2 storms coming through. All of the banelings are going to die now.
Big storms there.
I mean, he's keeping the Hydras alive, but the banelings are worth so much against these zealots.
And the +2 lings are on top of this army now. Molten needs to overcharge, and the army is so low.
I think he's done it though. The Hydras are just awful. They're so bad, and now they're just going to get absolutely run down. Now I think Multi can just push across the map, especially with these carriers. He kind of stalled long enough that the carriers got out. Yeah, puts him in a really good spot. Yeah,
nice play there by Molten. I think Blackwidow was a bit undecisive. I think, you know, he probably needed to just go for it a bit earlier, or if not go for it, just back off and, you know, try something else.
Yeah, I think he kind of positioned for a 1-1 timing is what is what it looked like the whole time to me, and then he kind of missed that, and then he went, okay, I'll do a 2-2 timing, and then he kind of forced that in a point where it just wasn't good anymore. Like, the timing needs to hit before your opponent has something, otherwise it's not a timing, it's just like an attack, like it's just a random thing. And in this case, Multi was so ready with the storms, even had some Archons out, and those just tank so well. He has enough Immortals out that he's got like kind of some rigidity centrally to the army. Now, Blackwidow's in a lot of trouble, because I don't know if you know this, but Hydras are not good against carriers.
I certainly do know that, yep. Especially in this sort of number, he's going to have, what, 6-7 carriers for this push?
Yeah, with Storm still on the ground, with Archons, with Immortals.
Yeah. I think this is probably going to be the twilight of this game here.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
I mean, it's a nice engagement here so far from Blido, but there's just nothing else. This is his army, this is it.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, he's trying to get to the Lurkers. Good Baneling connection so far. Pulling the Queens now, and some big transfusers here would be very nice. There's so few Hydras though, and so far, you know, he's done a decent job of like killing a few of the Interceptors, but there's so many carriers, it's just not that many. It's not enough. It would be kind of playable maybe if he gets Lurkers, but I just don't see him ever getting there. These Queens are going to just start getting
I still don't think there's enough anti-area to deal with the carriers, I think, especially with the storms. I think,
yeah, another round of big storms.
I think we're going to be upping into a match 3 here.
I think you might be right. Let's see. This is really the last fight of the game. No storms left, but it's too many carriers. This is just completely game over. Look, Baneling's rolling through to do what? Now the carriers are still alive.
Yeah, nice game here by Molten. I think.
I think this is really the kind of game that Multi wants to play. Kind of sit back, chill, defend.
I think he accidentally fell into the perfect defense of what Blackwidow was doing.
You might be right.
You know, this was his game plan right from the start, and Widow just kind of, you know, hard countered himself.
It's rough when you're like, I'm going to do this sick attack, I've got an awesome idea, and it just does not work. That's going to be that for game number 2, which means we are going to the ace match.
We certainly are, yeah. Interested to see what map it is.
I don't really know any of the new maps, so I don't really know. Kind of if someone's got something more or less planned for one map.
I know there's a few maps where there's decent cannon rush positionings, and I think, you know, third game of a series.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. But that was pretty dominating, that match for Molten. I think, you know, he never really was under any pressure. He handled the attack at his 4th, you know, very well. And again, it just looks like Widow doesn't necessarily know how to play this matchup.
Yeah, it kind of came across that way to me, where we're going for an attack that, like, on the face of it, obviously we can see everything. Yeah. But when you have a good understanding of a matchup, you kind of know your spot in the game. And when so you should be able to tell and be like, this isn't going to work, this isn't a good push. And I think this is kind of another one of them. Guess what? It's going to be Radusat Station.
Yeah, know a lot about this map, but no.
Okay, this is the biggest map in the pool.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, there's a kind of weird, what do you call it, like pocket third.
Yep.
But is actually just massive. Getting to attack the pocket third is really hard. This is the kind of map that I think Mutas would be quite good on, but a lot of Zergs don't like it much.
Okay, interesting. And I mean, again, with that safe third, as you do say, I think this might play into Molten's hands a bit more again. You know, he does really aim for that late game, you know, safe expansion. So, interested to see what they do here.
Yeah, absolutely. As we hop now, as I said, into Radusat. Spawning in the purple, in the bottom left of Radusat Station, tying up the series, is Molten.
And spawning in the top right position as the orange Zerg, playing for Team Goldmasters, Blackwidow.
So let me show you around a little bit. Here is said pocket. Obviously you need to mine these minerals before you can take it.
Yep.
So you can't really take it as your nat, because it's going to take you ages to mine those minerals out of the way. This is really safe because these rocks, it looks like there's a lot of them. These have a shared health pool.
Okay.
So if you kill one, all of them go.
Yep.
But obviously there's still this mineral wall behind it. The idea of this is so that you can't like blink straight over. Like if it was just the mineral walls, you could blink over. If it was just the rocks, you could blink over. But having both kind of stops that. Well, obviously it does mean that pushing through, like for an attack this direction, is not really viable.
Yeah.
On the other side, obviously this kind of more open fourth. But now this is your fourth, so like this is the kind of time in the game where you can start putting, you know, like big gateway walls here and that sort of thing. Obviously now, like the next base is. Blackwidow's asking about the pocket.
Blackwidow showing his experience here as well on this map.
I think Multi's actually checking. Oh no, this is a scouting probe, a scouting drone to actually check how many minerals that is. It is 10. So after you take this fourth, obviously the fifth, kind of this base kind of makes the most sense. And this again is more open. Then you're getting towards the corners, and then this kite forward kind of gold. Obviously at this kind of stage in the game, when you get towards like 5th, 6th, you can start to mine through here.
I was going to say, is there no benefit of, as like a Zerg player there, taking that gold base as your fourth and controlling the watchtower from that position?
I think it's so open, and the distance then for your lings, for example, is all the way around here. It's so far. As
we just see standard play coming from both players again here. Fully expect the Stargate to be dropped down.
Let's watch this pylon. Ready? It's coming.
3, 2.
Actually, he needs a bit more money.
1. Now. Half a second off.
Yeah, you got to look at the mineral count.
Yeah.
So let's see. Blackwidow kind of chasing this this probe with the drone a little bit.
Looks like Blackwidow's going to take this base as his third.
Yeah, I think it's kind of safe for the Zerg. I don't think it's very safe for the Protoss because it's so open.
Yeah, I don't think the Protoss would ever want to take this one, other than the fact to secure a safe fourth base.
Yeah, for the fourth, definitely. For the third, I think it's a bit ambitious. The Ling's chasing this probe a bit too far, so one is going to get taken out, maybe a second.
Yep.
Yeah, it goes down for free.
Nice play there by Molten.
Yeah, a bit of an oversight on Blackwidow's part, just kind of chasing slightly too far. So I imagine Multi will start mining through these pretty soon.
Definitely. As we see the Phoenix once more coming from Molten.
Should we talk again about how we don't like it? Is it even worth it? Do you want to message him? Just text him.
Yeah, I'll tell him to pause the game. I'll give him a call.
We can resume from replay and just go before, like right before he presses the Phoenix hotkey.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be beneficial.
They're making friends, look. Just hanging out. Oracle behind it. So obviously now this Overlord once again gets poked by Phoenix a little bit.
I mean, again, you know, the Overlord's done its job. It's seeing that the third's been mined out. It sees the Phoenix. You know it's going to be Oracle. And yeah, we're in the same position as we have been in the previous 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, he all but knows. You know, I would love if Multi just like mix something up a little bit now, like really quick. Templar Council, we're going Glaver Depths. You know, no one ever suspected it. Or Stalkers, we're going to go like hero style out of nowhere. Would be cool to see, but is not going to be what we're seeing.
We do see the lair coming down now for Blackwidow.
Yeah, quite a standard timing.
Yeah.
He's in 2 gases, so I need to know what he's doing with that other gas. Again, he's been going for quite early upgrades, so I'd be interested to see if that's his kind of plan for this game. Free drone on the 3rd for Multi. Does get this Oracle shoot away. Good dive there for the 2nd drone.
Yeah, it takes quite a lot of hull damage again on the Oracle. Not quite as bad as last game, but two kills for that. You know, I think you're probably happy as Molten. As long as you don't come back in and lose this straight away.
Absolutely. Blackwidow droning really hard behind this.
Yeah.
Banking the gas up, and I'm not sure what for. Could be Aspire, I guess.
I like the idea of droning hard. I think, you know, he knows that Molten's not going to attack him. He knows, you know, Molten's play style. I think, you know, be as greedy as possible because it's going to be, you know, 5 more minutes at least until Molten does anything.
Yeah, I think you're completely right. Like, when your opponent is so predictable, you can just play them on the metagame rather than any kind of actual scouting that you see. It is going to be that Spire, actually hidden out of the way over
location here of a Spire.
Very cute. Like I said, when you're banking this much gas and going for like 4 so quick, banking it, 100% is Spire. Nice catch with these queens.
You can't lose these oracles.
If he'd focused this weak one, I think he would have got it.
Yeah, I think so too, but again, no way are they... No... Oh, I thought them oracles were going to go
back in.
No, I thought he was going straight for the Spire there.
Oh, okay. Not quite this yet.
Yeah.
And we see our first kind of divergence from the previous 2 games. It's going to be a really quick charge and back into a Phoenix.
Yeah. He's got a sniff of the Mutalisks.
I don't think it's for Muters. I think he wants to run in and pick the queens up.
But no, I
oh, wait. No. With the cannons, you're completely right. He knows it's Muters.
Yeah.
Did he see this? Sure. Oh, he just revelated it.
Did he revelate it?
Yeah, it's literally revelated right now.
Yeah.
Why would you revelate there?
I'm sad that we missed that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the plan for Blackwidow. You cancel that. You can't do it.
Do you think?
You can't make the Muters. He knows.
Don't you think Corruptors would have been a better play?
I don't like the Corruptors. I'll tell you why. They're really expensive and they're really supply heavy. And all that happens is the Pro Tour says, I see that you've got, 10 Corruptors, 20 Corruptors. That's 20, 30, 40 supply that just can't do anything to me. So I'm just going to make a load of Archons, make a load of Stalkers and A-move you. It's like, what you're going to use the Corruptors for? Like, you can kill the Prism and that's about it,
I'd rather have the Corruptors than the Mutalisks in this position.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you just keep the Spire but just don't use it.
Yeah.
It does look like he's actually going to play some of the Corruptors behind this and go into more of this kind of like Corruptor Mutacon, which is kind of popular like a while ago. It's not so...
Yeah, I don't dislike it. I think if he really wants to play air, I think that's what he has to do. I mean, actually these Phoenix are going to get caught out here and Blackwidow almost takes one out. I mean, until you get range for Phoenix, this automatic crow is really difficult. And actually, Molten's going to lose his Phoenix.
Losing 3 for nothing there is rough. I think he was looking over at the Lings on this side of the map, losing those Phoenix. But he's kind of so safe because he already knew it was coming. So he's got cannons, got batteries, a few Stalkers coming in. Resetting that Phoenix count is really good because now the Corruptors kind of become more relevant. If there's a lot of Phoenix, the Corruptors are still just completely irrelevant.
I agree. Nice picking off these Stalkers here for Widow. Pull on the probes. He's not really going to get too many drone kills here, I think.
No, you're absolutely right. But this is more damage than he ever should have got, and only on the back of Molten, just kind of failing to
definitely
to control his. Phoenix.
I'd like him to use these Corruptors a bit more for the Phoenix.
Yeah. So the idea here is that you just chase the Phoenix with the Corruptors and let the Muters do it.
He's losing his Phoenix again to the
Mutalisks.
Mutalisks.
Controlling them.
And now Blackwidow can just sit on top of these Stargates and
This is more damage than you should ever get with these
100%.
units, by the way. They were so scouted, he knew exactly what was coming. Yeah. Just a complete miscontrol on Molten's behalf.
And this is what I said at the start of the series, in that, Molten really struggles against this sort of play style.
Yeah.
He scouted it, he knew exactly what he was up against, and yet is in this position now where, there's nothing that he can do.
Yeah, now that his Stargates are starting to get unpowered, actually only the one getting unpowered, but he's just getting his Phoenix production completely camped. Now Blackwidow floods the Lings through. This is starting to look like the beginning of the end, I'm not going to lie. He's up twice as much supply. He's even banking behind this. If his injects were better, he could be maxed out so easily by now.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't need to be. All of the infrastructure in the main is gone. This is so many of Multi's gates. Yeah. So what's he actually got? 2 gateways to make charge slots out of?
I think Molten's going to be kicking himself a bit about this game. I think this is definitely
I can tell you he will not. I can tell you he will be blaming imbalanced Muters all evening.
But Mutalisks don't cause you to miss micro your Phoenix, which is what it was,
I guess they mentally bloomed him and that caused him to miss micro. It does look like he's going to Terran GG timing this one. He's kind of staying in a little bit long.
I'm a bit worried about my computer next to Molten, if I'm perfectly honest. That's going to get damaged from it.
I hope you put your lid on your water bottle, because if it smashes the table, it's going to bounce and spill everywhere. As
we see a bit of an anticlimactic end there to game 3.
Honestly, just a weird one.
Yeah.
Just so strange, as he scouts it. He got a weird revelate. Why are you revelating there? What's that to do? What's that to see? I think he was trying to hit the queens, and then because Blackwidow was trying to cover the spire with the queens. It randomly got revelated. Everything got seen. He knew it was coming. He made everything in preparation and then just kind of fumbled the ball.
Yeah, Molten worked his way into a position where, he could have really had a grasp on that game. He had the tools that he needed. He had the knowledge that he needed. He had a really good economy. He was on a 4-base economy.
Yeah, absolutely.
He had 3 Stargates, a fleet beacon down. All he needed to do was micro.
Yeah. And just didn't.
Just didn't. Yeah, he just needed to win the game. And he didn't.
So that's going to be it. That's a 2-1, which honestly, given kind of the disparity and kind of skill, you may be expecting a 2-0 for Blackwidow. He's obviously a little bit out of practice. Kind of exploiting his teammate a little bit here. He knew the weaknesses was the muters. But you gotta do what you gotta do. I have to say, I don't feel bad for him. He played blind counter against Lilypad. So this is what happens. You get blind countered.
Exactly. Great series anyway. Both players played particularly well. Excited to see him tomorrow in the bracket play.
Yeah, I think they're both probably through to the upper bracket.
Yeah, I think this probably was for second and third in the group. I think Figaro's probably favourite to top the group. And then I think this was, to decide who goes second and third.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on the bracket and hopefully have an update later on. As you can see on your screen on the right-hand side, is that the right or is that the left? It's all. That's my left, stage right maybe.
Yeah. Right.
It's Zane versus Savage, which is going to be a PVZ. Exo's going to be coming back with that one. I think he has a special guest caster. We'll
Excellent.
see.
Make sure you stay tuned for that.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Hello Overclockers, and welcome. Oh, screw this. Where's A-Pack when you need him?